this video, I'm going to talk about why Japanese people call axolotls woopa roopa. Axolotls are... Wait a minute, what are axolotls? An axolotl is a paedomorphic salamander closely related to the tiger salamander. The term axolotl comes from classic Nahuatl, which was the prestige language of much of Central America before the forced introduction of Spanish. And most languages have used axolotl or a variant pronunciation of axolotl to refer to them since then. Japanese is one of the exceptions though, where the primary term for an axolotl is an woopa roopa. So why? Well, first off, that's not actually the name of axolotls in Japan. The official name for an axolotl is a Mekishiko sanshou, which is a bit of a mouthful and hard to say, and I've never actually heard anyone say, but maybe at a biologist conference, that's what they're gonna call it, although I imagine Woopa Roopa is dominant there as well. So the origin of Woopa Roopa then is not Oompa Loompas or anything like that. It's actually a instant noodle company, specifically UFO. So in the 1980s, the UFO company decided that they were going to use axolotls for a mascot. But there were a few problems. First off, you can't use the longer name I just said. No one's going to vibe with that. The Japanese transliteration of axolotl then is axolotl, which is problematic. First, aho, the first two sounds, mean an idiot, and you probably don't want that at the start of your word. Then, and this is more obscure, so I don't know how much actual consideration was going on there, but roltoru happens to be an old, archaic, no longer really used Japanese term for an old man. So an aho roltoru could be a dumb geezer, which is not really what you want your mascot to be named after. So as for coming up with Woopa Roopa instead, there are a lot of stories, and some I believe more than others. First, with Woopa, there's one story and it's pretty clear. They were going to originally call it a Super Roopa or a Super Looper, but they found that trademarking super was harder to do. So by changing super to ooper, they skipped all that and were able to easily get a trademark. As for the Roopa part, well, personally I kind of think it's just because it rhymes, but a number of people claim that this is because the caterpillars of geometric moths called loopers in English look like axolotls a little bit. This is a very weird link. You'd have to have someone in Japan working at UFO who knows enough about English bug terms to understand that looper is a term used for a caterpillar that kind of looks like an axolotl. Looper is not used, roopa either, in Japanese to refer to these. But weirder things have happened, and again, multiple people claim it. So the first video that had an Woopa Roopa in it came out in 1985, and we'll watch it in a second, but I want you to note that the axolotl that appears, the animated one that appears in this, is not actually an axolotl, it's an alien from space. Indeed, as you'll be able to hear, it says, "I am an Oompa Loompa, and I have come from space to spread love." Here, see it for yourself. Really makes you want to eat ramen, huh? So anyway, that was the source. That ad popped off, it became really popular, and there was a bit of an axolotl boom in Japan. Indeed, other companies even started using axolotls in their advertising. I have no idea what an axolotl could possibly have to do with alcohol, but here's an alcohol ad with an axolotl in it. And that was also from 1985. So there you have it. The origin of Woopa Roopa is just an advertising company. But the word popped off. Axolotls are still popular in Japan, being the subject of plushies and all kinds of merch because they're pretty adorable. And nowadays people use the term not even knowing that what they're actually referring to is an alien that speaks in a weird language that sounds like oop pop 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 boop. But hey, that's how language works, and weird things have happened. Just be sure that if you're hanging out with an old guy, you don't refer to their axolotl as an axolotl, because you might have just called them a dumb old man. I'll see you in the next video.